In today's video, we dive into a wild courtroom moment where a woman, clearly deep in the game, tries to convince the judge she's on the path to redemption, despite every red flag saying otherwise. Stick around as we break down the drama, the contradictions, and the judge's priceless reaction. Let's get into it.
The defendant. Yes.
Thanks. Take care.
You too. All right, who are the parties on Betty Jean Gonzalez?
I'm president.
All right. We're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2022 CR 9686B, State of Texas versus Betty Jean Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Gear.
Suzanne Kramer for Miss Gonzalez.
And are you Miss Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, everyone, while we're on the record, if you all could not talk in the box. Okay. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Well, yes, Your Honor, but we're waiving count 1 and waiving count 3, proceeding on count 2 alone.
No objection.
Ms. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 grams to 200 grams? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your agreement. If for any reason the court doesn't follow your agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent? Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Judge.
Do you believe she has a factual as well as a rational understanding of the charges against her?
She does.
You believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Ms. Gonzalez, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you into the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, state is proceeding on count 2. Punishments be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $2,500 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. State recommends community supervision. And there's $57 to SAPD for laboratory testing. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Judge.
State?
It is, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense is charged in count 2. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No.
State any evidence?
State offer State Exhibit number 1 with all the attachments, Your Honor.
No objection.
Ms. Gonzalez, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiver and Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses, the state will call on the right to remain silent. Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence state's exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing state's exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Just in reference to any possibility that you might hold her pending the TAP evaluation, she can probably speak to this better than I, but in the interim since this happened, she has cut ties with all of those people. Additionally, she lost her son, so she's now the caretaker of her grandchild, and she has a job. And so the longer she sits in jail, the more likely she might lose that job. She's been doing very well, other than there was an FTA on her, which I don't remember there being an FTA, so I'm not really sure why she was on bond and got taken back into custody. But she understands that if you release her today, she must go in to get the TAP evaluation, and failing to do so would issue another warrant.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 42, ma'am.
How many children do you have?
I have 3,
What are their ages?
20, 18, and 16.
And how old is this grandchild that your attorney was speaking of?
That's going to come soon. She's on still with the baby. She's still pregnant with the baby.
Okay. Who's with your 16-year-old?
A 16-year-old's in foster care right now. We're fighting for her to come home.
Okay, so there is a CPS case.
No, it's not a CPS case. When I was in prison this last time, my dad had custody of my baby, and CPS case was on my ex-husband because he mistreated her. So I've been fighting for her to come back home to me, but because she's in another state, and I've been doing it through the phone, talking to the courts over the phone and fighting for my child like that way.
When's the last time you had employment before you were in custody?
I'm sorry?
When is the last time you had employment before you were taken into custody?
When was you have a job?
Oh, I have a job right now. I work at Burlington, ma'am. It took me 2 weeks to fight to get into this job.
And these other people you were with, how do you know them?
They were a street family. I just cut them off.
Wait a minute, what?
It was like a street family, something by myself.
A street family.
A street family. Like, I don't talk to my blood family because they were putting me in the bed. So I cut ties to my own blood family, and I grew on to the street family, but I cut ties to them too because they were putting me in the bed as well. I just chose to do better for myself.
Where are you from?
Grandmother. I'm from here, ma'am. I just cut ties to my whole family just so I could better my life.
Is there any gang affiliation? See, I'm trying to figure out, how did you come to be with 2 other people who obviously everybody has drugs, there are guns in the car?
One's my brother and the other one's my cousin. That's why I'm cutting ties to my own
Okay,
family.
so you were saying that this is your street family, so now I'm hearing these are blood relatives?
The ones, my co-defendants were my blood family. My street family that I was living with, I cut ties to them because they started to use drugs, and I'm trying to get away from it because I want to live for my grandchild and try and get my baby back.
All right, so what drugs have you been using?
I've been using methamphetamines that I'm sober prior to coming in for this warrant. I was already sober for a week and a half. I cut ties from doing drugs. I'm even signing up to go to be a substance abuse counselor as well, ma'am.
All right. So what's her criminal history like? What's your criminal history?
My criminal history
Yes.
is possession, ma'am.
Have you been to prison before?
Yes, ma'am.
State jail, Your Honor.
State jail
For what?
for possession.
All right. So what drugs have you used other than meth?
Marijuana.
And what else?
That's it, ma'am.
Well, in this police report, it says that y'all had Xanax in a cooler.
That happened to me.
All right. How long would it be to get a TAP evaluation while in custody?
2 weeks.
All right. I'm going to need a TAP evaluation.
I'm just really afraid this job that she has at Burlington won't last that long. And she knows that if she doesn't show up to probation to do the tap, that you're going to issue a warrant. She'll be right back in
No,
jail.
I mean, she may need inpatient treatment. That's why, I don't know. But it's obvious to me she has major drug issues. And the fact that she has a child that's in foster care,
But
in
that-
which state?
Not to cut you off, ma'am, but that foster care is not my fault.
Yeah, it is.
How is it my fault when?
Because you were in prison.
I was in prison because of possession charge,
Yes.
but I wasn't using.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Then this time I was, ma'am. I really
All right,
was.
let me ask you
using it,
this.
And I'm going to classes for this stuff.
Oh, no, she can continue. All right, I understand. But here's the thing. I've done CPS cases before as a defense attorney. And when clients would tell me, hey, it's not my fault, my child is in care, I've been at the prison, somebody else should have been doing that. But when children are brought into this world, you know who's responsible for them? The mother, the father. Those are the people responsible. And a lot of people think that grandparents are responsible, but grandparents are not really responsible. Sometimes they step up and say, I'll do this, but that's not their job. So if your child is under CPS care while you were in prison, that's partially your fault because you should have been there. You were not there. You were at the prison for possession. I understand about the Burlington job. I really do. But you're not going to be any help to your grandchild until you get help with your own drug problem. And I can tell you right now, if Child Protective Services is doing their job, they are not going to allow you around your grandchild until you get your life together. And being drug-free for 2 weeks on meth is not a long time. That's not even enough to start a habit of not using.
Man, what I just started using, that's why I got off of it.
Yeah. All right. So you say the TAP evaluation can be done in 2 weeks? All right, Ms. Fergus, can you recall this in 3 weeks? And we're just doing a TAP evaluation.
February 2nd.
All right, we're going to do February 2nd. And probation, can you do a referral also to felony drug court? Felony drug court will, Ms. Kramer will probably be able to see her by next week.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. So we'll see you back on February 2nd.
Judge, just put that in the gold stamp.
I'm sorry.
Make it a blue page, sir.
Oh, no, just when you send it to February, I'm sorry, Ms. Shawn, when you refer, don't make it a ghost stamp. When you refer it to felony drug court, let them know that she's already applied for probation. We're just trying to get a pre-screen from them. And they actually may be able to get the TAP evaluation and everything quicker than that time period. We shall see.
All right, hold up, let's pause right here. What do you guys think? Is she actually serious about turning things around, or is this just another case of saying whatever it takes to avoid jail time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I gotta hear what you think about this one.
All right. So she was referred to felony drug court. Is that correct?
We're staffing on her, but PSI indicates that she doesn't meet the requirements.
Okay. Let me see. Yes.
May I approach?
Yes. Okay. All right. So one, they say you don't meet the criteria, and two, you have a history of drug selling. So I'm going to follow the agreement that you reach with the state. Court is calling 2022 CR 9686B, State of Texas versus Betty Jean Gonzalez. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Jason Garrett, Your Honor.
Suzanne Kramer and Ms. Gonzalez.
All right, and are you Betty Jean Gonzalez? All right, on January 12th, you entered a plea to count 2. The court found there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court found you guilty. The state waived count 1 and count 3 without objection. According to the plea bargain agreement, your punishment was to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state is recommending community supervision, $2,500 fine, and of course, the standard conditions. Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Judge, we'll rely upon that document.
All right, and they're asking, have both parties had a chance to review the TAP evaluation?
I have not, Your Honor.
I have, Judge. My interpretation of that was that at this point, she doesn't need any treatment. However, should the need arise, they would recommend the court put her in intensive outpatient treatment.
All right, is there anything you wish to say? All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Mhm.
All right, how many children do you have? I'm sorry?
3,
What are their ages?
20, 18, and 16.
And where's the 16-year-old and 18-year-old living?
So my 18-year-old has her own place. My 16-year-old is with her foster family.
With who?
Foster family.
And who is Raul Hinojosa to you?
That's my older brother.
And who is, well, you say your little brother. How old is he?
Raul and also my older brother.
Oh, that's your older brother?
Yeah.
All right, and who is Valdemar Hinojosa?
That's my cousin.
And when you're released, where are you going to be living?
Oh, with Myra Meeks.
I'm sorry,
With Myra Meeks.
who is that?
He's like next street mom. She's a friend of mine. He's a real good friend of mine.
What do you mean she's like your street mom?
Yeah, I look up to her. She's my mom.
What does she do for a living? What
Sorry,
does she do for a living?
she's retired now. She's just a housewife.
All right, and does she, I don't even know who this person is. Does anybody know who this person is?
This is the first I'm hearing of it. In terms of where she would live, I don't know if probation asked her that or not.
All right, so here's the thing. I have an issue with somebody saying they're going to live with their street mom. I don't know anything about her.
That's fine.
So you're not going to be able to live there until I get more information, until probation is able to go out there. So she's going to have to live at Haven for Hope or somewhere else. All right, this is what the court is going to do.
Yeah.
The court is going to sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 10 years, $2,500 fine. That'll be probated. There is a $57 restitution to SAPD for laboratory testing. Regular UAs. Well, no, we're going to do the UA hotline. And she needs to be tested at least once a week, and that's until further notice. 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. Parenting classes. Once you complete parenting classes, the remaining hours will be waived. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month until further notice. And what is your street mother's name?
Myra Meeks.
Could you spell the last name?
MINX.
M-I-N-X, Judge. Myra, M-Y-R-A.
Yeah, MARA.
You have a phone number?
Myra Minx, Minx.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so you're not allowed to reside with Myra Minx until that place is reviewed by probation, until we review her criminal history. You are not allowed to have contact. There's been no contact with Raul Hinojosa and Valdemar Hinojosa Jr. Probation, is there any, outpatient treatment with probation? Probation, is there anything else she needs?
No, Your Honor, is that supportive or intensive?
Supported.
No, Your Honor.
Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you need to speak to the attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Good luck to you. You're going to have to do better.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Maybe be excused.
Yes. Joseph and
And there you have it. Another wild day in court. Do you think the judge made the right call, or was this just another empty promise waiting to be broken? Let me know in the comments. Big thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next crazy courtroom moment. Appreciate all the support. You guys are the best. See you in the next one.